When I hear the name Jake Paul, man, it's a lot of things that come to mind. YouTuber first, but as of lately, boxer. But you definitely can't forget when he was Dirkman on Disney Channel series Bizaardvark for 2 seasons. But yet now he is preparing to fight another former MMA and ONE welterweight champion, Ben Askren, in LA. And clearly Paul ain't no joke when it came to fighting non-fighters, but now that he's actually gonna fight a fighter, let's see what he gonna do. I thought the kickboxer would give him a lot of trouble, said the renowned striking coach Dewey Cooper, who had trained multiple other fighters. And wow, it was easy work for Jake. He's formidable in there and way better than an internet dude with 2 fights. And safe to say, Jake's boxing hype train has taken off. The social media influencer, of course, man, he knocked out 3-time NBA dunk champion Nate Robinson. Now, that wasn't versus any professional fighter, but Mike Tyson gave him some props. My ego says so many things, but my reality is that they help boxing so much, Tyson said. Boxing owes these guys. They owe these YouTube guys some respect. These guys make boxing alive. You see, combat sports have always toed the line between mediocrity and advancement. But boxing is a business and it's built on pay-per-view buys and lucrative TV deals, so Paul, he gets all that attention, he gets all that money for the fight. With his known presence, he can rack up more views than any other fighter in the world, basically. But he is just 2-0 without one fight against a legitimate boxer. His first was against fellow YouTube personality on Isan Gib. But next up for Paul is Ben Askren, who was a champion at Bellator and the ONE Championship, and in 2019 he fought 3 times in the UFC. Askren is also a 2-time NCAA champion and an Olympian in wrestling. So when he steps in the ring with Paul on April 17th, it will be Askren's first boxing fight too. So yes, Jake Paul is actually fighting a fighter, but he's boxing a wrestler. To some, fighting a combat sport athlete is a step up for Jake Paul, but Paul isn't concerned about any of those perceptions. He's trying to transform the sport by attracting tons of social media followers to it. From a public perspective, hey, I don't see no downside in that. That's just leading people to a sport. But boxing ain't a sport that evolves quickly, and Paul's plan to use Twitter beefs, Instagram skits, and global headlines to become the next huge star is kind of a problem. More and more people, not only athletes, are just trying to box. So given that Paul is somewhat established, how does he fit in the boxing world? I truly believe that I will become the biggest prize fighter in the world and the highest paid prize fighter in the world, said Paul, and that is my goal and I won't stop for anybody. And what separates Jake from these other guys is Jake is serious about being a professional boxer. No play, no exhibitions. His older brother Logan was in the exhibition last year and planned to be in another one versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. Now Jake Paul isn't sure if all of his fans will flock to him or to other people in the sport. But one thing's for sure, his idea of using his platform to build other fights isn't lost. Now if promoters had all this clout and all these followers and all this following, then Paul, he will have changed the game in that way. And for those who didn't know Jake Joseph Paul, let's take a look to his pre-boxing days. It seemed like overnight, Jake attracted millions of followers on Vine. In 2016, he was on Disney Channel and was an actor. And then by August 2017, his personal YouTube channel boosted 10 million subscribers and more than 2 billion views. But here's the truth about his social media sensation. His Vine adventure was kind of a fluke. Paul didn't set out to become a social media celeb, but when he was 10 years old, he wanted to go to the NFL, and his dad gave him and his brother Logan a video camera. They were supposed to use it to record the football games, but instead, they focused on other things. Then the brothers got into it and tried to see who could make a better video and decided to settle it on Vine. From there, their popularity snowballed, and within 6 months, they were making more money than their parents. Jake trained to become a Navy SEAL. Before his online fame, the Ohio native reportedly wanted to serve his country and even started training in hopes to become a member of the elite Navy SEALs. During the online Q&A in July 2016, Paul was asked what he wanted to be when he was little, and he said, "Before Vine, I was actually training to be a Navy SEAL." He said, "I would still like to do it." He earned his first million by age 19. According to CNBC, Paul's enormous social media presence had him racking in 7 figures, and he said his only secret was staying flexible and exploring as many opportunities as possible. Hey, no cap. He started off on Vine, and then Vine kind of faded out, so he moved to Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, Snapchat, of course YouTube, and just kept on growing his audience along with his content. Hey, the note is taken, but he kept on doing that on these different platforms and building millions of fans. But Jake Paul wants to become the next Dr. Dre. Now hear it out. Once Paul secured his own slice of fame, he set his sights on helping others. "I want to be the Dr. Dre of social media," he told people in 2016. "I want to take my success and replicate it with other artists." He set out to achieve that goal by inviting fellow social media stars from around the world to live with him in LA in a $17,000 per month mansion. Dubbed Team 10, the gang lives and works together out there. They take people who have a lot of talent and teach them how to make content, produce it, and keep growing it, etc. He took people that maybe had a few thousand followers and made them have millions of followers within a short period of time. But with all that clout and all that money, he drove his neighbors crazy. According to a July 17th report in NPR, residents of the street where Paul rents a large house are meeting with the police and city officials to review code requirements, and could file a class action lawsuit that seeks to declare Paul a public nuisance. And yeah, that's understandable. They be going crazy with the pranks. But with all that said, he treated the neighbor's complaint like a joke. And when a KTLA 5 reporter was at his crib talking about, "This is a circus," he responded with, "Yeah, it is. I mean, people like going to the circus, right?" Man, he fooling. Jake claims that he wasn't fired by Disney Channel. As he continued to clash with neighbors, he parted ways with Disney Channel in the home hit series of Bizaardvark, right in the middle of the show's 2nd season. He claimed to love this cast and all this other stuff, but Disney was done. And one time, he got caught slipping. He got caught being racist. During a YouTube prank, one person went up to him and Paul asked him where he's from, and before he even said anything, he says, "It sounds like you're going to blow someone up. Send the nuke." Man, that one was uncalled for. He's definitely a controversial figure, or whether you like him or you dislike him, he's doing something that hasn't been done. Now that does it. Please leave a thumbs up, subscribe by the bell if you're new. Appreciate the view, and as always, thank you for watching.